West Carthage isn't the only area fire department expected at Peyton Morris's funeral procession. Carthage Fire Department plans to be there too. Jeff, we're at 366 High Street off of Factory Street, and it's here at the corner of the building where bricks fell off a month or so ago, making people wonder if the building is safe. Well, today, city codes condemned it. Patients set up a virtual visit on QuickMed's website and are emailed a link to the appointment. When it's time, they'll be seen over the phone by a healthcare provider. John, there's about an hour left at the COVID-19 vaccine clinic at the Loudville Fire Department in Lewis County. It's starting to slow down now, but they've had 300 doses of the Moderna vaccine to go through at today's clinic, and it's running like a pretty well-oiled machine. And here's how that machine works. People come in and they're greeted and eventually sat down at a table. Now that table becomes a one-stop shop for everything they're going to need to do here. So just how close was a level 3 sex offender living to the park? Well, you can see the hotel from here. The warmer weather has created a layer of water on the ice, and some ice anglers say that creates new challenges. Garrett, we're here at St. Larry's Bar and Grill in Potsdam with Alex Hammond's campaign camp. And I'm actually with the Democratic candidate for New York's 116th Assembly District, Alex Hammond. Alex, the results are early, kind of a close race so far. What do you think you've done to endear yourself to the voters of the River District? We have reached out to New York State Correctional Officers and Police Benevolent Association President Mike Powers, but haven't received a response yet. We'll update our story if we do. Garrett.
All right, thank you, Keir.
It's tight quarters.
It's roughly 12 by 18, the room.
And short supplies.
I have to keep my inventory lower than I normally would.
At Gwen's Food Pantry in Lafargeville, for Director Donna Chatterton, a Friday morning delivery is much welcomed. Nothing inside the pantry's walls appear out of place.
Chickpeas can go in the other room.
Step just outside them, and that all changes.
So the fire department was good enough to let us build a little addition in their truck bay and use some of their meeting room for extra storage.
Chatterton says the pantry has been operating out of the Lafargeville Fire Department since January and hasn't missed a beat. This is Gwen's Food Pantry's old location, a building owned by the local American Legion right next door. While not formally condemned, American Legion members say the building that housed the food pantry needs some repairs, and it was a good idea for the food pantry to move out.
They had to move. It was getting to the point where the roof was leaking really bad and the mildew was inside the walls.
Chatterton says she doesn't want to overstay her welcome at the station.
So I didn't feel like I was infringing on other people's rights and their space.
Chatterton says the food pantry and its overseeing council have looked for land or property to move to, but there have been issues with the few potential landing spots they found.
We're trying to see who might come forth with something that could help us out.
So for now, Gwen's Food Pantry will continue its work from inside the fire hall, with the hopes that sometime soon they'll have a new place to call home. Keir Chapman, 7 News. What I'm about to show you is a house in pretty bad shape, but how it got that way depends on whom you ask.
It's just nonsense. It's been more of a hassle than anything. Like, I truly regret moving in here.
Pack up and move out. Mackenzie Rosato spent Wednesday afternoon clearing out 116 Barbin Avenue in Watertown, a home she's lived in with her 2 kids and their father, Stefan Andrews, since December. Rosato says moving out isn't their choice.
Code just came yesterday, and then they said they were condemning it today, so we have to get our stuff out as soon as possible.
Rosato says the house has problems from top to bottom. She says all upstairs appliances have to be plugged into the same power strip, which is run from one outlet.
This runs our entire upstairs.
And if the strip ever gets unplugged or the outlet doesn't work, the lights go out. Downstairs, there's a section of ceiling missing. Rosato says it fell in due to a leak in the upstairs bathroom that's since been addressed. The home also has mold and exposed wire. Rosato says the damages were there before the family moved in, and they were told the issues would be fixed.
We had a lot of empty promises. We were promised that this house would be fixed.
Property owner Eric Swartz tells a different story. He says, quote, "They're dirtbags that ruined my property, and I can't evict them because of Governor Cuomo and COVID." Swartz also says the family rarely, if ever, paid their rent. Rosato says Swartz is upset because his property isn't making money and she doesn't think it deserves to make money. And Rosato says they did pay the $1,500 a month for rent until around April, when they stopped because they say the owner didn't fix anything like promised. The end result, a condemnation notice from the city.
This one is uninhabitable.
Building safety inspector Christine Shipley says getting the family out is for their own good.
It's not my job to displace people, but it's to keep them safe. And when I walk away from here today, I know they're going to be safe.
Rosato says she has leads on a new place to live, but the clock is ticking.
I have to throw all my stuff in a storage unit and stay here or there in the meantime, and hopefully not have this baby till I find a house. I mean, I'm 8 months pregnant.
It's quiet outside the walls of Otis Technology in Lyons Falls, but it's a different story on the factory floor. Part of the team spent Wednesday packing up personal protective equipment, or PPE, a job they've grown used to this last year.
Sometimes we are really pumping them out like we are right now, and other times we aren't.
The company is back to producing its staple, gun cleaning supplies, but at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, Director of Marketing Heather Pleskotch says Otis Technology focused only on producing protective gear.
A lot of departments and agencies and hospitals didn't have the adequate supplies that they needed.
And even though Pleskotch didn't see the pandemic coming,
it doesn't come as a shock to me that our ownership would be able to figure out how to go from gun cleaning to hand sanitizers and face shields and things like that.
a lot of the PPE being produced behind me will be going to Lewis County Emergency Management, just one instance of Otis Technology giving back to the community.
Last week we made our second donation to the Police Benevolent Association, and this donation last week then went to a lot of the different vaccine sites.
Some of that donation made its way to St. Lawrence County. It appears Otis Technology has found a rhythm, pushing out PPE. Pleskotch says the plan is to keep production going as long as there's need. Keir Chapman, 7 News.